Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Boxing. So today we're going to be going over our thoughts on the press conference and the weigh-in with DMITRY BIVOL out of Russian boxer.
Out of Russia.
And then, as we all know, CANELO ALVAREZ, Mexican boxer. So let's get into it.
All right, so we saw the press conference. What do you think? What do you think about the press conference?
I think this was one of the easiest, most just chill press conference, even weigh-in, I think, that have happened. There was absolutely, I feel like, no trash talking.
Yeah.
I think Canelo even felt so comfortable just have his daughter up there because he felt there was going to be no animosity or something.
Yeah. I feel like it's a lot different because remember that press conference when Caleb planned? It was popping. It had everybody talking about it. Like the promotion was crazy because the slapping and just the shit talking back and forth. Like there hasn't been any of that. So I feel like this fight hasn't really had that buzz like that you would want, especially from like a pound for pound for like Canelo being the best in the world in boxing. That's you would expect more buzz. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember with that weigh-in with the Caleb, I got a text from him. I was at work, and you were just like, whoop to whoop, my phone was blowing up. So I feel like, what can I say? It was boring. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, it was just like, it almost felt like it was just like it's more like tradition, not necessarily like, it didn't really build it up. It just seemed like, oh, this is a routine. This is what we're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Supposed to have a press conference,
And what I mean, like when I say boring too, it's not that, it can be, it doesn't matter, even like other fighters, like great fighters that are, that are actually a challenge towards each other. Even if the press conference or the weigh-in was chill and they weren't talking shit, but I don't think it would have been boring if I knew that both fighters were just as good and that we were going to see a very competitive fight.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing, like, and that's probably why there's no buzz because of who he's fighting. Regardless of how good of a fighter, that he is, Bivol, it's just not a sexy name. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not the fight that no one wanted. Like, is this a good fight? Like on paper, skill for skill, you probably say yeah, but like, does it really do it for us? You know what I mean? You got all these other fighters who've got big profiles and got their own fan bases. Like, does Bivol really have a big fan base? You know what I mean? And so I think that's the problem for why there's not buzz behind it, and
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm just ready for Canelo to fight. We want
to see him fight those guys. We want to see him fight Charlo. We want to see him fight the Benavidez.
Yes, like nothing against Bivol. Like I mean, he's getting his opportunity. But I'm just. I guess I'm just frustrated. Like I know Canelo can do good, but it's like fight the fighters. Like it's insane.
And it's not like you said, it has nothing to do with like you said, it has nothing to do with Bivol,
nothing against him.
And it has nothing to do with Bivol or his skills or anything like that. It just has to do about what the paying fans feel. The paying fans want to see a certain fight, and Canelo hasn't delivered that, which is why he gets so much, criticism. That's one reason why he gets so much criticism. You know what I mean? But is he fighting champions? Yeah, he's fighting champions, but that's not the fights that we want to see. And the fans.
No, I feel that because like I said, as much as I like the way Canelo fights. I do, and I don't know if he don't believe in himself or what it is, but they've been, talking about this whole thing, like him not wanting to fight another, an African-American fighter or a Mexican fighter. Yeah. And it's like you're saying, I want to give the fans, what they want, a good fight. Canelo, we don't want fights like this. We want to see you fight someone that's challenging, a very challenging or just
somebody that we know. You want somebody that we know, someone that we know that's hungry for a shot. Someone who I want him to get in there with somebody who we know is gonna fight him, who isn't gonna, who also has big I want him to fight someone who's already had big moments of their own. You know what I mean? A lot of times you see these fighters get in with Canelo, and this is their first big fight, first time. And I want him to fight against somebody who's already been in somewhat of a big moment, because then they'll be more prepared for that moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I want someone like that versus, you know, a lot of people are just like, oh, I'm just thankful for the opportunity, like for it to be, you know, and I don't like that. I want someone to come in there like, man, he put his drawers on just like I do. Look, he a fighter, I'm a fighter. Let's get it.
Hey, Benavides style.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Know?
I want someone who's gonna get in there and who's gonna look at him as no, you my equal. Let's fight.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and it's like, what is it gonna take? All the belts to be taken away from the European fighters for him not to say I'm going for a belt. It's not just that I'm fighting European fighters. It's I'm going to get a belt. All the belts got to be taken away from Europe so you can fight somebody here. It's like, come on.
But
like,
I mean, yeah. And Canelo does, and like I said, that is like that criticism is warranted, and because he's not giving us, you know, the fights that we want. Is he fighting? Is he fighting competition like in comparison to everyone else? Yes, you can say that he is doing that, but. You know,
we'll see. Like I said, I mean, I got Canelo. If he fights against Charlo, I'm gonna roll with Canelo. You know, but like, let us see these fights. You know, like those are the ones we're hungry for. That's what we want to see Canelo step up to. You know. Yeah, and it's like, and those
are like massive fights because they're huge fights. Like Bivol, like if you look at his fan base, his fan base isn't bigger than the Charlos. His fan base isn't bigger than the Benavides. You got Mexican legends. You got black fighting legends. You got all the legends in the sport calling for Canelo to fight these guys, and he just still doesn't choose to fight them. And so everyone is frustrated for that and it's not that we think it. We just want to see. We want to see the best of Canelo, and we want to see, you know, how good he is. You know.
We want to see the best fight the best.
Yeah, and we want to see the best. We want the best fight the best.
From here to you know. And like I said, I got Canelo winning those fights, but like, let's make it happen. I just feel like this one, Bivol, I feel like, I think it's gonna be. I don't want to downplay Bivol, but I think it's gonna be an easy fight. I think he's gonna stop him maybe 9th round, 10th round. I think Bivol will get stopped.
Stop him late.
Yeah, I think he'll stop him late. What do you think? How do you think the fight's gonna finish?
When I look at this fight, it seems like a showcase for me. A showcase for Canelo. I know a lot of people always talk. They're like, "Oh, Bivol, look at he got a good jab. You know, he moves a little bit. Yeah, he does. He does have that. But the thing is, like, Canelo has seen that. He's seen somebody with a good jab. You know what I mean? He's seen somebody with a move. But it's like, but it's not just the fact that you have to have a good jab and you can move. Like, Canelo has seen that at his purest form, his best form, when he fought Floyd Mayweather and he fought Lara. Like, those were movers, but the things about them is like their foot speed was different. You know what I mean? And that kind of gets in problem, being able to get in and get out. You know what I mean? And so when Canelo moves up and he sees the same style, these guys are going to be slow for him. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, he's going to be, so I think it's going to be a lot of, like, Canelo, like, we're going to see him making Bivol do a lot of missing and stuff. And so because Canelo's been kind of trying to show that, that little slickness to his game, you know, on his defense. You know, we're going to see him, doing a lot of that, bobbing and weaving, I see. And then landing counters. Because, Bivol also, like, when he fights, he does keep his lead hand low. And so I see him once he gets his timing, which is, it's going to look like, it's going to be able to catch him with a counter, and definitely take advantage of him keeping the lead hand low. But I see it as a showcase for Canelo. And but I mean, I'm hoping that Bivol is a tough guy and that he stays in there. You know what I mean?
He works his jab a lot.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that his size does. I hope it does. For the sake of the fight, I want to see it go the distance. You know what I'm saying? With someone in there that can stay in front of him, or not really stay in front of him, but you know what I mean? Like, fight with Canelo because the full 12 rounds. That's what I want to see. So if he's tough enough, but I mean, I can see, like you said, I can see it stopping too, because I see Canelo inching closer and closer
to the body. I feel it's going to be a knockout, and it's going to be a body shot, and it's going to stop the fight.
Yeah, and I was watching that Kovalev fight, and he just took his time. You know what I mean? And he just inched closer and closer, and then once Canelo started landing the jab, then it was pretty much over. So I see it kind of being like that. So if it is a stoppage, I see it happening late, not anything early. I see it being competitive early in the beginning, just because it's going to be fresh and Bivol. You know what I mean? He's going to be fresh. He's going to have fresh legs, but towards the end, he's going to. I see that pressure. Canelo's pressure is been unmatched. Like honestly, he wears people down so good with his pressure, and now like he's making a miss too as he's coming forward, man.
And the thing about Canelo too, though, is that he's very patient.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't get how do you say impatient.
Yeah.
So like you said, at the beginning of the rounds, it's like okay, you know, it's gonna work its way up, but he's really patient. You can just see the calmness and how calm he is. You know, in the beginning rounds, trying to figure out that other fighter. You know how to get in. You know, get into the body because those are his shots.
And Canelo, man, I was watching a lot of his counter punching is just so amazing. Like in his timing.
Power.
Yeah, because you know a lot of people like sometimes you know they counter, but they don't. He counters with power. Yeah, like you said, like and power. When he throws, it makes sure that you know it counts. You know what I mean? Especially like when he's fighting the bigger fighter because he doesn't know how many times, you know, once you're in there, you gotta take advantage.
Exactly.
Every time, you know, when you're a bigger fighter, you gotta take advantage, and he takes advantage every time. Yep. So I'm excited I'm excited for that fight because I know it's gonna be I feel like it's gonna be a showcase, and we'll be able to see him. You know what I mean? Like a defensive. You know, he's gonna be slipping and stuff. So that's why I'm excited for the fight. But I mean, I think, like I said, he's been in there with better boxers and you know movers that are actually more athletic than him in the smaller weight classes. So I don't see him having a problem with Bivol, and I see him winning easily. But I just see it looking competitive in the beginning, and then Canelo just being Canelo.
To be honest, I'm not super excited. I'm gonna keep the 100. I'm not super excited to see. I'm excited to see boxing just because I like to see boxing on a regular weekend. I like to see it, but I'm not like you know super excited. Like one of the fights that oh my god, I'm so excited to watch. It'd be cool to watch, you know, to see what happens or whatnot. But I'm waiting for him to fight someone we want to see him fight, and it might happen next year because when they were interviewing Eddie Reynoso, he said that you know they probably want to make a fight happen next year with Charlo. Yeah. So if that goes down,
that's what we all want. That's what we all want. That's what we're waiting for.
And I would be so excited to see that fight.
Yeah.
So hopefully it happens.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's not a sexy fight, but like if you're really like die hard boxing, this is a good fight. You know, this is for the not necessarily that this is for the I want to see how I want to say this. This isn't for like because you know because I don't want to just I just don't want to say like this isn't a good fight. Like this is definitely, you know.
It's not, I want to say, it's not an exciting fight.
It's not an exciting fight.
Nothing against Bivol. Nothing against him. It's just, it's been time after time that we've been wanting to see him fight certain fighters and he hasn't. Right. That this fight, it's like, okay, but, another fight that you're not fighting one of the ones that the fans want to see you fight.
It's a good fight, but it's not, this is how I look at it. It's a good fight. Him and Bivol is a good fight, but it's not the fight that we want. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like sometimes like we'll go out to eat, right? Like it's not your favorite, but you'll be like, all right, I'll eat it though. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it is, especially. And then like, you know, because I also, you know, I'm not in the crowd where it's like, you know, Canelo needs to. I think these other guys need to stop. They need to stop tagging their career onto his, and they need to do their own thing. You know what I mean?
Like, well, that's what Benavidez started doing.
And so, and that's what those. And so Benavidez did have the Lemieux fight. He had the Lemieux fight. So I'm hoping after that he fights somebody, and you know what? And but the thing is, like, so this is a good fight. And so when I look at it, am I excited? I know that I would have been more excited for another fight. But when I look at this fight and I compare it to other fights that are being made, like if I look at the David Benavidez Lemieux fight, this fight is way better. If I look at the Charlo Sulecki fight, this fight is way better. You know what I mean? So I mean, we're not going to be excited for those fights either. But if we're comparing all three of those fights, that's the fight. You know, it's a good fight. It's just not the one we want, and that's the frustrating part. You know what I mean?
Yes. Because I mean, I watch anybody fight.
We watch everything. So
whoever's fighting, it's fun to watch. You know, we love to watch boxing, but like I said, it's just. It's frustrating to see.
And the other part that's frustrating is like we already know. Okay, after this fight, we know he's gonna fight. The next fight is Triple G, and who wants to see that? Like if you're like no one wants to see that. We just saw. It's gonna happen. They've been trying
different now.
They've been trying to make that fight. Like that's why I was rooting for Murata. I was trying to root for Murata so that fight doesn't get made because I don't want to see that. I want to see There's so many other fights I want to see. I want to see Canelo in there with Benavidez. I want to see him with Charlo. I want to see him in there with Andre. You know what I mean? He said the slick black fighter. Out of all of those, Andre is the slickest one. The other ones have different styles, but you know what I mean? Like, those are the guys I would rather see him fight than Bivol. You know what I mean?
Now, I got a question for you guys, and I was thinking about this. Do you feel like if Canelo was to lose, say he were to lose to Bivol, right? Hypothetically, let's say he lost to Bivol. Do you guys think that would push him more to actually want to fight?
Well, we already know.
Like one of the fights that we want to see. Do you think it'll push him to do that?
Nah, because if that happens, then he's just gonna rematch. And on top of that, for him to beat Canelo,
I'm just trying to think of different ways to make him want to fight the people that want to see.
You know what? I think at this point, Canelo is like so like, you know, he feels so accomplished and he feels like I can do whatever I want. So like, I don't think there's any amount of pressure. If the pressure isn't there now, like, you know what I mean? I just feel like he's just gonna do it whenever he feel like it. But I mean, this is what I think. You know what I mean? Like, I've said this before. Like, we know, okay, like, call his bluff. Call Canelo's bluff. Canelo is like, oh, I want to be a champion. Oh, I want to be undisputed at 175. Somebody. So I want somebody to be like, okay, but here's the. I want somebody to be like, okay, well, let me go ahead and snatch this belt before Canelo get to it. But here's the problem though when this happens. But let me tell you, here's the problem though when that happens. Because no one else has that amount of money. See, they can't, like, Charlo can be like, yeah, I want to do that, but he doesn't have that amount of money to pay him to get in the ring with him. You know what I mean? But Canelo has that money, so that's kind of the thing I bet that's, you know, that's frustrating thing that Charlo and all of them, because like they feel like, hey, like, we can't, like, he's giving out paydays. He's giving out paydays to everybody. You know what I mean? They're getting $10 million. Charlo gets in there. He can't give them $10 million to get in the ring with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's politics of boxing. That's messing things up. But you know. Yeah, well, let's not get that because that's a whole another conversation. Yeah, but like you said, we just ready for Canelo to fight the fights we want to see. You know. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I got Canelo by stoppage. You got Canelo by stoppage. Yep. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take. Listening to Bivol, you know, he does seem pretty confident out there. You know what I mean? And I think you know, he's a big guy. I think I'm gonna give him the distance, but I think Canelo wins easy though. But I think he's gonna survive. Okay, let's see. Let us know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys next time. Later. Catch us on our next episode of Let's Talk Boxing. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video.